Carrie stands from her bed, finishing by giving me her warm-hearted regards. It's a thing which she has always done during the time we've known each other. She's usually quite polite. This, however, is something much more than that. Something special, both to her and me. Thanks. I'm glad I could be there for you. You're an important friend to me too. I told you before, didn't I? Carrie nods and smiles, wiping the melancholic expression clean from her face. It's a wonderful sight. To know that our friendship means this much to her, it really makes me happy.
Thanks.
Aww. The pair of us stand together in the center of Carrie's bedroom, basking in the presence of the other. Around us is silenced, bearing the light sounds of traffic from outside. It's a lovely atmosphere, something which makes me feel warm inside. I don't know what her father's doing, but he must have realized we were gone. Luckily enough, we're not in my house, or my father would be in there the moment we left his sight.
So, I guess you got to see my bedroom.
Oh, it's not that bad. I guess I did.
I want to see yours.
Oh God. I don't know if that's...
Though it's probably a bit messy.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Out of nowhere, Carrie throws me a jab as she stands before me with a complacent grin. Yeah, she is right, though. My room is kind of messed up. If I ever did have the courage to bring Carrie anywhere near my family, particularly my father, then cleaning the room would be somewhere on the list of priorities. Well, what can I say? You should take pride in your tidiness. Carrie giggles at my statement, an act of familiarity which I'm glad we could achieve. Moments ago, Carrie was recalling thoughts from a time filled with a wealth of dictionary words. Sadness, depression, loneliness. Those sorts of words came to mind. Hopefully, we can change the experiences of the past so in the future she doesn't have to look back at painful memories. If you didn't have that bookshelf, I'd dread to see what your room would look like.
I take pride in my books. Thank you. Though, you're right. I like to look after them, but reading them comes first.
I like how it's just her and I giving each other shit for no reason. There's quite a lot of books there, though. Surely she hasn't read them all. Oh, she probably has. Actually, I take that back. She probably has. See? That vacant smile as she stares toward the bookshelf proves it. In all fairness, she's not the only one with a lot of books in her room. I couldn't even count the number in mine. All they do is gather dust in my room. It continues to be treated like a storeroom by my father, cluttering the house with all his publications. Was there ever a time where he actually wrote a book? Putting that thought aside in my mind, I glance at the alarm clock beside Carrie's bed. Feels as if it's getting late. It's only 2 o'clock?
Oh, ignore the alarm. It's broken.
Oh. It seems as if we both had issues with faulty alarm clocks lately. Nonetheless, if it wasn't for that, I doubt I would have met her in the first place. Realizing that I am in fact wearing a watch, I raise it up to check the actual time before saying it myself. Carrie is quick to point.
It's getting late, isn't it?
Just a little bit. Yeah, I should probably head back soon. I can't even imagine what my sister might get up to. Carrie smiles, though that wonderful sight quickly turns back into a frown.
I'm sorry about earlier.
Shh. It's okay, Carrie. You don't have to apologize. In reality, it is her father's duty to apologize, even though I wouldn't blame him for his actions. It seems as if Carrie's mother, who is the loose cannon, Carrie herself definitely isn't fond of her. Shall we get downstairs then?
Yes, let's.
Carrie and I make our way out of the room and head downstairs, leaving behind what was both a special yet somehow depressing moment for both of us. Carrie had to recall the time she wanted to forget, but at the same time it made us closer. I now realize that she didn't even speak much about her family issues. That I couldn't blame her for, but it was the reason the two of us left the dining table. All I had to do now is wait until she's ready to speak about such things. Being able to help her is something I want to do. We walk down the hall towards the doorway, Carrie getting ready to see me off. I don't know where her father is, but I'll just have to speak to him another time. You know what? Thanks for tonight, Carrie.
I should be thanking you. I'm glad you came. Despite...
Shh, shh, shh. Don't worry about that, Carrie. It's alright. I literally put my finger up to her lips, right there on my screen. Carrie smiles warmly, holding the handle of the door in her hand. I'm sure neither of us is ready to go yet, but I have to go back home nonetheless.
I'll see you on Monday.
Of course. She blushes, leaving me to give her a smile in response. I don't think I'll ever get tired of seeing those rosy cheeks. Alright, Carrie. I'll see you then.
Bye.
And she looks sad again. Shutting the door behind me, Carrie and I are now separated. Myself feeling happy despite the cold of the evening. Well, I'm not really sure how she's feeling. In all honesty, I hope she's feeling better. Talking with her really made me feel closer to her. Maybe even something more. I take my steps out of the garden, a pretty one at that, each flower still vibrant in the evening sunlight. It's quite a beautiful sight. It is Carrie's, after all. Is Dad gonna give me shit? The chirping of birds, that's typical sounds in the morning, wake me up once again as I slowly but steadily prop myself upright and stretch my arms out. The room is still dark, giving a contrast to my attitude this morning. It's strange to think that the first thing on my mind after waking up is Carrie. It's not strange. Although given the situation of last night, I can't really help it. Sure, my mind is amiss after Saturday. What with the roller coaster of emotions and events which have occurred, focusing on the positive seems the best thing I can do right now. Carrie and I have gotten a lot closer because of it, despite our discussion involving nothing but her ruminating over her painful history. I've made up my mind. I want to help her, so I look forward to being able to see her today. It is Monday, after all. I rise from my bed, deciding now is the right time to get dressed and get ready for the schools. Downstairs, I can hear my father boasting about his business to my mother. It reminds me of my situation, how different me and Carrie really are. I'll open these windows. Or blinds. Same thing. Time passes quickly, flowing like a river, guiding me throughout the day. I finish up my business, which involves nothing but a quick shower, brushing my teeth, and getting ready for another day of school. Heading downstairs is the next thing on my list. Walking into the dining room, I am presented with the usual sight of my family enjoying breakfast. Even my sister has managed to make it down here before me. That's rare. I take my place next to them in order to have breakfast. Listen, girl, if you're gonna have toast, it's gotta be a whole meal! Or whole meal shit! I prefer white bread, though. Silence! It seems as if my father is arguing with my sister over what bread they like best. I prefer my brown wheat bread, but joining this argument would be the most idiotic thing I could do. Times like these usually go unnoticed. The fact that I can spend time with my family. To think that Carrie only has her father is an upsetting thought. Even more so since he's probably in work when she finishes school. She must be quite lonely. Boy! I was asking you a question! Oh, shit. I turn to see my father's face inches away from mine, a sight which startles the fuck out of me. Ah! What? Thinking about Carrie must have caused me to shut off the outside world. Usually I'm not involved in these sort of discussions, so it's rare for him to bring them to me. I said, what's better on toast, jam or honey, boy? Jam? Yeah, I was about to say jam. In all honesty, I prefer butter. Or butter and jam. But again, given my own opinion, would upset the situation further. See, even your brother disagrees. Or agrees. Don't take the opinion of someone who spaces out. I thought I was bad in the mornings. The two of them resumed their argument, with me and my mother trying to ignore the presence of the two idiots. Breakfast today is the same as any other, for me. Wonder if Carrie is having hers right now. I take a glance at the clock, an action which sets my mind in motion once again. I'll be late for school at this rate. Is the clock still broken? If it was, then I'd definitely be too early. Not anymore. I fixed it. You have a watch anyway. Why does it matter? God. All right. Well, I'm off. Goodbye, son. All right, son. Hopefully bring back a girl this time, you shit. Despite my father's continuous comments about girls, it is what I'm focused on today. I deliberately decide to leave earlier than usual in an attempt to beat Carrie to our meeting spot. I step outside, bidding farewell to my family with nothing more than a brisk wave. I look forward to seeing Carrie, a girl I have become familiar with. The rosiness of her cheeks, the silkiness of her braids, and that cute edge to her embarrassed smile. It's not something I thought I would find when moving schools. Okay, we want to help her, right? I think the best way we can like help her is just being there. The street is quiet. It usually is around this time. I left just before the rush hour, and recently I found myself trying to get to school a lot earlier than before. Maybe there's a reason for that. That reason, though, isn't there when I reach the end of the street. This is the place where I first met Carrie, and the place we agreed on meeting each other from now on. Carrie, though, isn't here. Granted, I did leave earlier just so I could be here before her. If I wait around a bit, I should be greeted the cute side of her being shocked to see me. Leaning back against the wall, I rub my brow as I take the time to think about the situation between us. On Saturday, I was privy to her life behind closed doors. Having to be involved in a dispute between parents, what with the additional sense of loneliness? Thing about it really makes me sad that she has gone through so much. Bullying, a divorce, and seclusion. All that, and then there's me. I take a look at my watch. Its reflection in the sunlight almost blinds me as I squint to make out the numbers. Time has gone by fast, with the dial telling me that it's been about quarter of an hour since we were supposed to have met each other. Oh no. Thoughts fly through my head as I ponder why she'd be so late. But if I wait any longer, then I won't be able to make it to school on time. If she were to turn up after I'd left, well, it hurt me. Leaving Carrie behind is something I just can't do. But I can't afford to be late either. Carrie is probably ill. That's the most likely scenario. I decide to carry on forward, taking myself further down a series of streets towards school. Oh, a state close to silence soon becomes infused with the sounds of students bustling through the school gates to begin their day, just like me. Unlike them, I have someone particular on my mind right now. You don't know that. They might be thinking about someone. These people weren't there for Carrie when she needed it. All they did was ignore her, cast her away. It's sad that people can judge you based upon how they see you rather than what's inside. Carrie herself, wherever she may be, has had a hard time. I keep telling myself over and over, repeating it as many times as possible, as many timetables I learned back in elementary school. Carrie must be ill. Could there really be any other reason for her absence? Could she get sick that fast in like a day? Nevertheless, she seems like the type of person that would give me a call to tell me she would not be in. She hasn't done that either. Another cause for worry. I push forward into the school grounds. It's weird to think that this is only the 7th time I've come to school alone. The rest of my time was with her. Where is she? Arriving in class just short of the bell, I sit down at my desk as usual. The best thing I can do is now go about my day as I normally would, but I don't think I'll be able to dissipate the thoughts of Carrie. Hey, Scott, do you know what lesson we have first thing? No. A classmate stands before my desk. I'm pretty sure this is the guy from before who was really keen on the sandwiches they sell here. I think it's biology. Oh, thanks, man! He leaves my desk just as quick as he came, giving me a sense of sickness now that I realize I'll have to put up with this lesson for a while. I'm not particularly fond of my biology teacher, but I have more important things to focus on right now. All I can do is now try and get through this. I don't really care for biology either. Lunchtime arrives, the bell doing more than signaling that. It shows that I've got nobody to eat with. I doubt Carrie has or will show up today. Rising from my seat, pain shoots through my back as I straighten it. Ugh! I've been slumped in my chair all morning, and luckily enough for me, I never got asked to ask any questions. As I approach the door to the classroom, part of me hopes that I'll find Carrie there waiting for me. The entire set topped off with a cute blush, her silky golden braids laying loosely over her shoulders. More importantly, her adorable smile. Even though I've only just gone over a day without seeing her, it's still an issue. Despite all this, there's still no sign of Carrie as I leave the classroom to make a beeline to the cafeteria. No! Maybe that 100% Welsh beef can give me the energy to make it through the rest of the day. I don't like this at all. Taking my place in line at the cafeteria, one which is surprisingly short, I idle around waiting for my turn to order. Coming here still gives me thoughts of Carrie. It's where we really got to know each other, not necessarily where everything started. It's because I decided to speak to her on a whim that we've managed to get this far. That was only a week ago. Thinking about it makes me happy at what we've achieved over the past 7 days, yet it eventually trails back to the thought of Carrie's issues. Soon enough, the line to the cold food section shortens again and again as we inch forward. One after the other, people grab their food and leave to eat it. Something I'd be doing with Carrie if she was here. I decide to grab a sandwich, quickly enough to get to the last beef one, leaving me to find a place to sit in the cafeteria by myself. The real problem is that I have nobody to eat with, kind of like how Carrie was. I wonder if she would have approached me if our situations were reversed. With her personality, probably not. Even though she is a kind person, she wouldn't have had the audacity to approach someone she had only met that morning. I decided the best thing to do is just to go back to class. I could probably find someone to talk to there. Where are you? The corridor is empty as I walk back towards my classroom to eat lunch. Most people now would be either in their class or in the cafeteria, so it's rare to see any students walking about this time. Making my way past one of the classrooms, I notice the door open behind me as someone calls out, "Hey, Scott! Wait, you're Scott, right?" I stop in my tracks and turn around to find one of our first year's forms teachers calling out to me. I think he's in charge of Carrie's class. I am. Sorry to stop you. I was wondering if you know the reason why Carrie Dwayne is absent today. We haven't received a call from her parents, so I thought you might know where she is. You have been hanging out with her recently, right? Oh, no, I don't, sir. Sorry. Has this guy been watching Carrie and myself? I guess it's kind of his job as a teacher to track pupil progress. It is quite notable that one of the most introverted students suddenly made a friend, though it still aggravates me that he's looking into our business. Okay, no worries. We'll give her parents a call later if we don't receive any word from them. I'm not sure if this guy knows about the relationship between Carrie's parents. The fact that he says parents. He heads back into the classroom, leaving me by myself in the corridor. The thought of giving Carrie a call myself crosses my mind as I make my way to the classroom. Oh, can I do that, please? Cool air, the sound of cars, the presence of the local populace going about their daily lives surrounds me. Walking home from school has always been like this. Just time to think whilst I rush to get back, so I can get back to go about my life. Makes me wonder whether things would be different if Carrie had come to school. We did agree to walk to school together, but neither of us said anything about walking home together. I'm not sure why we haven't. Being able to support Carrie is something I want to do. After what her teacher had told me, I really don't think she's ill. Surely her father would have informed the school. They're never too keen on pupils missing lessons. I've had experience of being berated for it before. Putting my hands in my pockets, my fingers naturally rest on my phone as I realize I had it with me. I did decide on giving Carrie a call, though I'd rather wait until I got home. Something inside me knows the things we'll discuss won't be the same as the trivial things we both embraced before. Step by step, I trace back my usual path down my street, to and from school, quickly arriving home and make my way indoors. Inside, instead of the usual sounds of my father boasting and my mother's retorts, I find my sister sitting down and playing on her phone. It's something she would usually do. Why she's doing it downstairs and not in a room, I'm not sure. Oh, you're back. Yeah? Did you get let out early or something? No, I just walked faster than you. Wow, she always has a way of being cheeky. Where's Mom and Dad? Oh, they went out. They said they'd bring back something for dinner. Alright. I take off my shoes in the hall when I get the idea to talk about Carrie with my sister. She might be able to give me a girl's perspective on it all. At least I hope. Hey sis, is there any reason as to why a girl might not come to school despite not being ill? My sister turns her head and smirks at me, almost to mock me for knowingly asking something which would make me indebted to her. Oh, did you take the day off? Very funny. Are you going to give me a serious answer? After raising my voice, my sister responds by giving me a solemn expression. I didn't mean to get loud, but right now I have more pressing matters on my mind than her jokes. Well, I wouldn't go if I didn't feel like it. That is, if I was depressed. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry for shouting. By getting angry, I've created a sense of awkwardness between us. Doing so resulted in getting an answer from her anyway. One which isn't unreasonable given Carrie's situation. All I can do now is hope she's willing to answer my call. It's okay. Resuming whatever the hell she was doing on her phone, my sister takes hold of the phone, leaving me to part ways with her to head upstairs. Oh, please answer the phone. Before me is a room all too common, and as always all too messy. Looking around, I realize this will be the stage upon which I begin my act to be there for Carrie, a girl who has grown on me so much over the course of mere 7 days. The sounds of cars resonates through the open window, causing me to look outside and stare back at a melancholic expression. Is that really what I look like? The image is beyond me as I continue to listen to the melodic rhythm of people within the city going about their lives. Here I am, hesitating to call someone who means so much to me, someone who has changed me. I was under the assumption that after meeting Carrie, I was able to bring her out of her shell. She told me otherwise, but I find myself thinking about how much she has done for me. How much we've been there for each other, neither of us even realizing it. Alright, get out of the fucking way, mouse. The pounding of my heart acts as a timer, urging me as I clasp the phone in my hands. All I have to do now is press the button. A pang of nervousness causes me to sweat as my breathing sharpens, unsettling my mind as I continue wanting to get this issue resolved. With an unsteady hand, I take the move to press call. Now it's up to her. Oh, the phone rings. Slightly longer than I would expect if Carrie felt like talking. It can only be assumed that she's at home. If her phone was anywhere near her, then she would have answered it by now. The ringing stops abruptly, causing me to feel a sense of relief, which is soon washed away when someone other than Carrie answers the phone. Hello? Who might this be? Oh, crap. On the other end of the line is Carrie's father. I don't know many parents who would answer their child's phone, but at least I can ask him about Carrie. This is Scott. Ah, that's right. You were over here the other day, weren't you? I'm sorry about what happened. I don't usually get so worked up, but there's a lot of things going on right now. All I can do is apologize for making you witness it all. No, I understand. How's Carrie doing? She wasn't in school today. I thought you might be calling about that. You're a good lad, you know. I've only met this guy once and he's calling me a good lad. On the other hand, getting on his good side isn't a bad thing. Carrie is in her room at the moment. She hasn't been down in a while. Oh, that's concerning. She's locked herself in her room? I think it's because she's upset about the relationship between me and my wife. Well, she won't be my wife for much longer. It's a complicated story. Did Carrie ever mention it to you? Not in any detail. She just told me to forget about her mother after Saturday. I think you deserve to know. It'll help explain what Carrie's feeling. I don't think I'm really in a position to get involved with this family issue. Really, it's odd to think he would be willing to tell me. Listening now, though, might make it easier to understand what Carrie is feeling. And if I want to help her, it's something I must know. Currently, we're going through a divorce, but that should be more than apparent. After we moved to Japan, things started to get rocky between us. My wife decided to go on holiday back to Wales, though her real intention was to get back with her ex-husband. I eventually caught wind of it after one of my friends spotted them together. Oh, good man, friend! She stayed there, but at the same time filed for the divorce. It's a complicated process when you're dealing with two countries. I was told yesterday that she also filed for custody of Carrie. No! What? Does that mean Carrie would also return to Wales? Yes. She's been upset since she didn't want to leave. I think she has too much here that she would lose if she went back. It's not just me who she'd be away from. The reality is too hard to comprehend. A sheepish girl faced with another challenge in her life. Having to leave behind her father and her friend in order to go back to live with a mother who she has no fondness for? I knew from the beginning that I wouldn't be able to do anything. Being there for Carrie still won't change the outcome, though. Though I won't resist doing so. Right now, she needs someone to be there for her. Even if it'll end up hurting both of us. If you want to speak to Carrie yourself, you're welcome to come over anytime. But I'm not sure how receptive she'll be about it. Oh, she'll let me in. It feels as if I don't at least try to get my voice to her. Even if she turns me away, I just want her to know that I'm here. To know that despite the pain, the people most important to her will give back everything in return. That we care for her. That I care for her. Do you think I'll be able to come over today? I don't see why that would be a problem. Though, like I said, I'm not sure how Carrie will react. Her reaction right now isn't really stable. I'll sit out that damn door for as long as it takes. All that matters to me is how she's feeling, which I know is far from good. I want to reach out to her. Alright, I'll be over shortly. Goodbye. In a rush, I hang up on Mr. Airwood without giving him a chance to respond. Wasting time isn't an option. I need to get there as soon as possible. Heading downstairs, my footsteps resonate throughout the house, causing my sister to give me a bewildered look. Luckily enough, she doesn't give me any issue and goes back to using her phone. Passing through the hall, the door opens before me, revealing my parents. God damn it. I don't have time to make conversation, so I slip past them out the doorway, both of them giving me the same bewildered look as my sister did. Where are you off to, son? I'm going to a girl's house. That's my boy! Upon hearing that, my father contorts his face in surprise, finally leaving me with a proud smile as I set off on my way to make myself down the street. All I focus on is being there for Carrie, a thought which drives me as I race away to her house. I'm literally running. It's nighttime. Darkness fills the path towards Carrie's house. Spare the street lamps which guide my course through it. A long and winded one, in a metaphorical sense. This week has provided me with countless ups. But I guess it's time to face the downs. Knowing that Carrie is hurting makes me feel bad myself. Something which I've told myself over and over. My emotional attachment to her is a big thought. Carrie's street is short, so it's easy enough to find her house. And it's a nice house, too. It saves me the time of looking for it in the darkness of the ever-looming night. The adrenaline within me rushes me further towards the door of her house. It's not necessary, but I feel that controlling these emotions would be a bad thing, on top of the difficulty to do so. It's Carrie's feelings I want to prioritize right now. Getting there as soon as possible helps me do that. My knuckles face the wood of the door repeatedly as I eagerly wait for an answer. I can see movement from inside, that of Carrie's father, as he soon comes to open the door. Good evening, Scott. I won't keep you stuffed for long. Carrie's room is upstairs and to the right. I know. Keeping things brief, Mr. Airwood gives me the directions to Carrie's room, despite me already knowing them. I don't know how well it would sit with him if I told him that I already would have been up there, so I just thank him anyway. Thanks! Sparing no time, I rush up the stairs as carefully as I can. Wearing socks and trying to race up there would be really regrettable if I were to slip. Though being too cautious also seems like a bad idea. The only thing I should be caring about right now is Carrie. Following the same path as I did before, Carrie's bedroom door stands before me, a gateway to a lonely, downcast girl. Knocking on it gently. Oh, hold on. My heart continues to pound in my chest as I wait for a response. Nothing. Out of instinct, I grasp the doorknob, but despite my best effort, it won't budge. She must have locked it. I mean, I kind of expected it, but it doesn't change the fact that she's locked herself away from the outside world, even her own father. It's okay, I can get her out. Slow movements raise my arm once again as I realize what I had to do. For all of Carrie's concerned, it could just be her father knocking on the door. Hopefully, hearing me as well can show her how concerned we both are. As I tap against the door once more, I make my call out to her. Carrie? Me?
Huh?
Oh! A response. A small yet welcome one.
What are you doing here?
Reasons! Her voice is filled with nervousness. Over the time we've spent together, I've noticed that she found it easier to speak to me as each day went on. Now, though, she sounds just as she did when I first met her. I came to talk to you. I want you to come to school tomorrow, Carrie. I abruptly managed to stop myself from adding, I've missed you, even though it's an absolute truth. Spending time without her was different, even though that's all I knew. I know you're not feeling good, but knowing you're like this, it makes me sad. I told you we're friends, right? I want to support you.
I'm sorry, I know. You're important to me.
You don't have to apologize. I just wanted to be there for you.
I'm not sure if I'll feel like going. It's complicated.
Only a thin piece of wood separates us as we both stand in silence. A wall between us, between our feelings. I'm not sure what I should do. I'll be waiting for you tomorrow, Carrie. Where we normally meet. Good night, Carrie. On a whim, I turn myself away from her. It's a painful thing to do, but actions speak louder than words. Trying to break into her room wouldn't have done either of us any good. But telling her I'll wait no matter what might let her hear my feelings in a different way. I'm not sure if she responded, though she doesn't come out after me. It's an odd thing for me to be so familiarized with her house after only knowing her for a week, but that thought doesn't stick with me on the trip down the stairs. So, how'd it go? Her father stands in the hallway, showing that he was waiting for me the entire time. I don't know. We'll just have to see. They are plain and simple words, yet they hurt me so much. Having this uncertainty between us all makes me feel more bitter than anything. It's okay. Carrie is usually quite stubborn. Would you be staying for dinner? I know a meal with a 37-year-old Welsh guy isn't exactly on everyone's bucket list, but it would be impolite for me not to offer. Thanks, but my father had brought me back. My father and mother had brought me back something for the family, so I'll just be leaving. I'm sure it'll be quite the ruckus when I get back. It's all right. I hope you enjoy the evening, Scott. Thank you for speaking to her. That's all right. It was something I wanted to do. I'll be off. Goodbye. Carrie's father sees me off with a wave as I walk out of the Airwood household. Shit. Thinking about it now, his words don't make much sense to me. Describing Carrie as stubborn is definitely a contrast to what I know her as. In fact, I would describe her as pretty compliant. I guess things are different when you're a parent. Maybe it's just how Carrie acts towards me. At least I hope it is. Oh God, it's the next day! Why? The morning sunlight blinds my eyes on my walk towards school. More importantly, towards my typical rendezvous point with Carrie. As I get closer and closer, I dote upon what Carrie means to me, my relationship with her. It's a strange thing to think about, but as time goes on, things will start to make more sense to me. As the usual corner on the street enters my vision, the shy braided girl isn't there. It would be wrong to say I didn't expect this, but part of me looked forward to seeing her adorable aura shimmer in the sunlight. Shit. Looking at my watch, it's still a bit early. Even if it was late, I would still wait for her. Being late to school doesn't concern me at this point. Cars pass by me one after another as the neighborhood starts to get into motion. Everyone on their way to work or to drop off their kids at school. It's the usual sort of thing for a weekday. Having mine be different yesterday really showed me how much I enjoyed the mornings before going to school to be able to see her. Every day of my life before had been absent of her, but meeting her really showed me how much of a wonderful person she really is. It's a shame that it took a while for her to be able to show it to someone. The clock continues to circle around and around my watch, similar to the thoughts in my mind, constantly moving but never really going anywhere. 7:35 soon passes without any sign of Carrie. When agreeing to meet with her, I would have probably embraced the experience of walking down the road around this time to see her waiting for me with a mild smile on her face. One which I can only assume would quickly turn into a fluster as she would spot me approaching. None of that has happened though, or will happen. I can't imagine Carrie being that happy to see me. Anxiety grows within me, flowering from one of the most painful places for it to be embedded, its thorns. My heart. It's been 5 minutes now since the usual time we agreed to meet. Not particularly late by any standard. That is, any standard other than Carrie's. Every time we agreed to meet somewhere, despite it only happening on a few occasions, Carrie was always early or on time. More so the prior. Maybe my words didn't reach her after all. Oh. Glancing up from my watch one last time, within my vision I see a figure. Despite the morning sunlight hindering my view, it's clear that it's a girl, and she's walking down the street towards me. As she approaches, I can make out her hair, neatly braided, swaying in the light autumn breeze. Her attire, all too familiar to me, consists of a tan sweater which embellishes her figure. The harp insignia on her chest is quickly covered by her arms as she adjusts the red ribbon beneath her neck, blushing slightly as she looks towards me. It's Carrie. The sight brings a smile to my face. It usually would, but this time means a lot more to me than any of those other times ever could. I managed to reach out to her, and she came. Her expression, however, does not match mine. She still carries a troubled expression as she advances further down the street. If one thing is for sure, there's still a lot of work to do before we can make things right, even if that's even the right word. All the issues, all the problems that caused this situation are still here. Carrie is still upset.
Good morning.
At least she came. Good morning, Carrie. Part of me wants to ask how she's feeling in spite of knowing the answer. I'm fine, she'll say. That's all it is. Fine. Fine is just a synonym for not good. A quick answer to get people off your case. Carrie knows how concerned I am, but prying into her feelings now would not benefit either of us. Today I want her to feel normal, to experience a day of school like we usually would. Upsetting her by getting it into the subject of her parents would just make all my efforts for nothing. Instead, I opt to just usher her along with me to begin our school day. I think we should get going. We're going to be late otherwise.
Okay.
I expected her to apologize for being late, but it doesn't really matter to me. Carrie and I begin our slow walk to school, despite having the clock working against us. But we're not in any rush. Because fuck that, we don't need to rush at this point. Dust shimmers in the air sporadically throughout the classroom, giving the day a sense of warmth as the autumn sunlight shines through the windows. All too much of a contrast with the bitter cold of the morning, leaving me with a feeling of unease as the issues with Carrie still linger in my mind. Having left her not too long ago to get to class, we separated on a sour note, neither of us really saying anything, but our feelings ever so similar. Ones of sadness, sorrow, and general awkwardness. Getting her to come to school is one thing, but for her to open up to me again will be a completely different challenge. If I'm going to make this day work, one way or another, I'll have to force her to talk to me, no matter how inconsiderate that sounds. Moving my body backwards, I stretch to alleviate the pain in my shoulders. Ugh. Today's gonna be long. It's gonna be tough. Gonna be tough. But I've gotten through lessons before just thinking about Carrie. Thing is, there's a lot more to think about right now, including my feelings of love. The chimes of the school bell jolt me up from the slumped position on my chair. It's lunchtime, so getting outside as soon as possible is a priority. I want to meet Carrie outside her class for once. Springing up, I grab my bag and swiftly push my items into it in a disordered manner. These are things I have no fucking time to worry about. I managed to be one of the first people out of class, but it's expected that those who sit near the front will always have the upper hand. Ha ha! Carrie's class isn't much of a distance away. It seems that their class is still inside. Everyone in our year group is on the same corridor, so it's unsurprising to find myself joining the usual crowds who wait outside the other classes for their friends to come out. One by one, people flock out of the classroom. The entire event is quite a scene, as it's already been about 5 minutes since the lunch bell rang. Just how important was their lesson? Not important at all! In time, the sight of Carrie greets my eyes once again. She still holds the same expressionless appearance she had this morning. It hurts me. Hey, Carrie, shall we go have lunch?
Sorry, I need to catch up with some work.
No!
I'm going to copy a friend.
No! As soon as I opened my mouth, Carrie seemed to go into a state of shock. Her words sounded untruthful, as if she forced out the first excuse she could think of. I don't think she's the one to copy a friend on anything. And besides, I'm her only friend. As depressing as it is, the reality is that I'm the only person she speaks to in school. She wouldn't have the audacity to copy off someone other than someone within her class. If she's not ready to speak, that's fine. the entire action itself going back on what I previously decided upon earlier. Forcing her to speak to me would probably send her into another state of shock. I'll let her go for now. Alright, Carrie. I turn around, leaving Carrie behind me as I join the students from her class heading towards the cafeteria. Whether Carrie wanted me to object or not, I'm unsure. However, she won't be able to get away from me this easily. Letting our friendship dissipate like this isn't something I will just allow. Fuck that! I find myself sitting in the cafeteria, clutching a sandwich. A little earlier, the guy sitting in front of me got into a fight with one of the younger students over who'd get the last sandwich. I'm not really sure why these things are so popular. It's just beef. You enjoying that sandwich? Well, you better be. I was wounded pretty bad there. I didn't even touch you. Can't you just let me pretend? School's pretty boring, man. To be honest, he's right. Having to sit there without Carrie is quite agonizing. A distressful experience. Putting my entire state of mind into a flurry. Even though yesterday I sat alone in class, being here with this guy isn't better. Are you listening to me, mate? Sorry, can you repeat yourself? I was saying, what if they introduced lamb into the school sandwiches? There's plenty of sheep in Wales, right? I don't know. I've never been there. I'm not even Welsh. Neither have I, man. It's just a thought, you know? It seems this guy's pretty invested in sandwiches. The bell rings to signal the end of lunch, causing me to feel more depressed as I now have to face afternoon lessons. Whilst listening to the mundane talk of my classmate, I decide to try again with Carrie. The idea is to walk her home. Pretty bold in itself, I know. But I know for a fact she's not going to be compliant. Compliant. Did I say compliant like compliant? Wow. Brain. I hate my... See, I knew what it was. I just say compliant. Brain. Dragging her out by hand is one option, although the action seems really dodgy and skeevy and disrespectful. In a way, it might show her how much effort I'll be putting into it. What could go wrong? The classroom is filled with a uniform aura of apathy as it slowly drags on towards the final few minutes. Thinking back on my ideas from earlier, I need to find a way to be able to get out before Carrie. It can't be guaranteed that her class will just get out late again, so I really don't want to miss her. Raising my hand, I eagerly wait for the teacher to notice. Asking to be excused for the restroom is undoubtedly the best way to be the first one out of class. There's about 5 minutes until the lesson ends, so there shouldn't really be a problem. Yes, Scott. I thought that was a woman. Oh, rip. Excuse me, miss. May I be excused for a restroom break? Go ahead. It seems the teacher herself is quite apathetic towards her own lesson, sending me off in a tired and indifferent manner. Oh, God. I leave the classroom behind me. Some classmates looking shocked after realizing my plan to get out of class. Ha ha ha! Turning down the corridor, I walk slowly towards Carrie's classroom. This time, she's not getting away so easily. The bell rings to officially end everyone's school day. I've been waiting here for a few minutes, so in order to use up some time, I bought myself a drink. As people begin to walk down the corridor, I toss my can in the bin and continue to wait for Carrie's class to come through the doors. There she is! Surprisingly, this time Carrie is the first of the people to get out of their class. Perhaps she wanted to prevent a repetition of the events of lunch, getting out early so she could avoid me. Too late! Unfortunately for her, as soon as the change arises, I grab her by the hand and make my way down the corridor with a pace. Her trailing behind me with an extraordinary sense of embarrassment, one which breaks new boundaries.
What are you doing?
I'm walking you home!
What?
Walking home! Confused, Carrie continues to stumble over her words as I take her with me down the corridor. Despite her being able to let go of my hand, she shows no restraint as she allows herself to be taken with me. As we move, I notice a few stares and smiles from various people from our year's group. Even sounds of lighthearted laughter can be heard. Different to how Carrie was treated before, I can only assume that they find the events funny in a friendly manner.
Where are we going?
None of your concern! Your house! I told you I'm walking you home, didn't I? Saying that, both of us are almost running as we pace towards the school's exit. Not a speed definable as walking, but I'm still taking her back to her house. Students move swiftly out of the way as we get outside and through the school's gates and onto the road, with the pair of us receiving the same old looks and giggles as we finally break from the school grounds. Whew! I let up my grip on Carrie's hand since the entire action still is embarrassing. More so the fact that running out of the school had caused us both to sweat lightly. I can trust Carrie not to run off now, so we both slow down into a brisk walk as I take her on the journey back to her house. So, did you manage to catch up with your work?
What are you talking about? Oh, that was...
Ha! A flustered Carrie walks behind me as she tries her best to let out her words. The sight caused me to laugh, knowing that I've seen through her lie. Is this the sort of experience I have longed for? You're pretty cute. Saying that, Carrie ramps up her levels of befuddlement, causing me to lose myself in her adorable trance. I only told her the truth.
What? You really think so?
Huh. You're damn right I think so. Her face is ablaze with emotion as she looks towards me with a hard blush, fiddling with her hair as it intertwines around her fingers.
Thank you.
She meekly claps her right arm, clasps it, as we continue walking down the road in a state close to silence, neither of us deciding to continue the conversation. The real fact is that Carrie still isn't feeling good inside. Trying to force her into a state of happiness would just make things worse. I'm fine with being able to come this far with her, walking down a street lit up by the afternoon sun. This is something I've always wanted to do with Carrie. Being there for her, being with her, it brings my feelings for her into question. Oh man, we got a lot to think about the feelings, man. Our steps are in sync as the two of us walk side by side down a street which is now quite familiar. Accompanying Carrie on the way home may have seemed like a brash thing to do, the idea itself established rather hastily. However, being there here with her after spending yesterday in a state of worry gives me a sense of relief. The issues that caused this are still present, however, but showing Carrie that she doesn't have to go through this alone is enough reason for my actions. We find ourselves idling in front of her house, neither of us really wanting to start the traditional words of farewell. Carrie takes the lead despite being rather reserved throughout the day.
Thank you. I'm sorry about earlier.
Oh, it's fine.
I just needed some time alone to think. It's been hard recently.
It's alright, Carrie. Carrie is still bearing the weight of uncertainty as she faces the chance of having to just leave everything and everyone she's known behind to move away. And from what her father told me, the distance between her and what she cherishes would be quite extraordinary. Remember, Carrie, you do have people who are there for you. Even if it's two people she's likely to be leaving behind.
I know. You've been a great friend to me. That's why it's hard.
With Carrie saying that, the door to her house opens wide despite neither of us reaching out for the handle. Standing before us is Carrie's father, sporting a smile which I can only describe as uneasy. Both of us know the situation Carrie is in, and both of us are trying our hardest to deal with it. I thought I heard someone speaking outside. Come on in, Scott. You're more than welcome to stay for dinner. Mr. Airwood wastes no time trying to get me inside of the house. All I can assume is that he has something he wants to discuss with me. I can do more than guess what he wants to talk about. The startled response coming straight from her. Carrie, still somehow shocked at her father's invitation, idles behind me as I step forward into the house. Are you coming, Carrie?
Yes!
Come along, dearest. It's strange that a man has to ask his own daughter if she's going to enter their own house. But it's not something I wouldn't expect happening with Carrie. Her actions are kind of adorable. Dispelling that train of thought, I divert my attention back to reality, knowing that there's still a large uncertainty that hangs over us. As Mr. Airwood and I walk further down the hall, Carrie stands behind and speaks out to us.
I need to put some things away upstairs.
Don't you fucking lock that door!
I'll come back down in a minute.
Okay, you better. Rushing off quickly up the stairs, Carrie leaves her father and I alone in the hallway. Well, the two of us can still go to the dining room. You want a beer? I know you're below the Japanese drinking age, but the laws aren't different in my house. Or are different. Yeah, sure, why not? I need it! Willingly accepting his offer, the two of us walk into the dining room, both of us knowing what's on the other's mind. Sitting down, both of us are reluctant to start the conversation. Carrie would come down any minute. It wouldn't be pretty for her to hear us talking about her behind her back. Still, the thought of is something I'll have to neglect. Avoiding this conversation isn't something that I want to do. So, has she been any better? She's still pretty upset. His voice has a certain firmness that seems unfitting for the discussion, as if the fact that Carrie's in emotional distress doesn't concern him. I think she likes you, you know. The thought of having to leave you doesn't sit well. What? What? Repeating my thoughts aloud, I stare blankly at Mr. Airwood, who sits in front of me with a smile. Did he just suggest Carrie likes me? In what way? I mean that she's upset that she'd have to leave you. No, the part before that. That? Oh, I'm just suggesting that Carrie has a crush on you. You know, there's times in a girl's life where they find someone they like. That's the way it is for everyone. Is this guy really telling me that his daughter fancies me? Hearing it is quite a shock, especially from him, her own father. Thoughts rush through my head as I think about over our relationship. Carrie's actions towards me have never been quite confident. She's always seemed to be embarrassed or shy, but that's just how I thought she normally was. To think that she likes me? It's a strange thought, yet inside I can't deny the feeling of happiness. The feeling of wanting to be with her. You know, you're a good kid. I've always thought that good kids deserve good news. What? Diverting my attention back to Mr. Airwood, he continues talking with a smile on his face. I've had some talks with my solicitor, legal stuff. He told me that I'm likely to win custody of Carrie. My wife isn't known to have the best mental health record, so don't feel too down, kid. Carrie's gonna stay? A wave of relief washes over me, knowing that Carrie doesn't have to face her burdens. It's a pleasing thought. Even more so that I know how Carrie feels about me. Well, he just is guessing. But I guess you know your daughter more than anyone, right? I can't even describe what either of us would be feeling if we were separated. Have you told her yet? Not yet. I wanted to wait until the time was right. What does he mean? I think that telling her would be the first thing to do. For days, Carrie has been awash with agony, finding herself disillusioned in a reality she has to face with her life being torn apart by an uncontrolled force. It's odd. Can I ask you a favor? What? Take my daughter out on a date. What? It seems as if what is the only thing I can get out around this guy. To be so full of surprises. What's even more surprising is that Carrie's still taking her sweet time with putting her stuff away. Me and her father have been talking about her for quite some time. Her father has just asked me to go out on a date with her, yet she's conveniently upstairs, completely unaware of what's going on. Why are you so adamant about me and Carrie? I reveal my thoughts to him in a way I do not want to go. In no way do I not want to go out with Carrie. It's just strange that her father's pushing us together. First, he tells me she likes me, and now he's trying to get me to take her out. Our father's supposed to be reluctant to let the guy date their daughter, especially when they've only known each other for like less than 2 weeks. It's just that Carrie's never had many friends. To know that she's managed to make one she even likes, I don't want her to even miss an opportunity. And hey, you're not a bad kid. I have no objections to you dating her. Hearing these words, they're just strange. Thoughts which were never foreign, but a reality which certainly is new to me. I myself can't deny the feelings I've held for Carrie. even if they were abstract for most of the time. Now presented with this, I'm assured of what those feelings were. Love. The sounds of footsteps resonate from the hallway, giving me and Mr. Airwood a clean sign to change the direction of our conversation. Scott, how's school? Oh, it's been great.
I'm back.
Welcome. Oh, Carrie, sit down. I'll get dinner prepared. Walking out of the room, Mr. Airwood leaves me with Carrie, the girl which drew out my inner feelings. Seeing her now, sitting before me with a slight frown as she looks downwards at the table, fiddling with her braids, it makes my heart race. Reach out, take her hand. Mr. Airwood soon comes back into the room, carrying plates topped with dinner. Carrie and I sit in silence, each of us taking occasional glances towards the other without being directly bothered by it. As Carrie's father places a plate in front of me, the smell itself is enough to signal the quality of it. Last time, his dinner was actually quite enjoyable, like Carrie said. It smells nice.
I knew you'd like his cooking.
Breaking the wall between us, Carrie finally speaks up. Her face, though, is still masked by sadness, possibly due to the events of what had happened the first time I tried her father's cooking. Unbeknownst to her, though, it seems things are going to work out in the end. Mr. Airwood sits at his own seat, and the three of us tuck into our meals, in between conversation at least. So does... I know there's 3 endings to the game. Is one of the endings where she does move away, and it's over? Oh my... So, how did you two meet? I don't think you ever told me, Carrie. Carrie's face is lit by embarrassment, both of us recalling the events of that day. It's funny now to think that a chance event could bring us so close to each other. I glance at Carrie, signing to her that she couldn't explain everything to her father. The cruel thing to do considering her timidity. Though watching her explain it is always, it's gonna be just fucking adorable.
Well, I dropped my bag on the way to school. My library card was left behind, and he gave it back to me.
Really? That's an odd way to meet someone. Mr. Airwood's laugh as Carrie's face increasingly reddens. There are, of course, more details to it than that. If I hadn't decided to walk up to her in the cafeteria, then none of this would have happened. Carrie's face still seems sorrowful, making her remember how we met when she still thinks we might have to be leaving each other. Why hasn't he told her? Come on, man! Fucking do it! Oh, God! The ongoing stream of time flows forward, the 3 of us having finished our meals and the clock itself reflecting how long I've actually stayed here. I didn't even tell my family where I'd be, so they're probably going to be either angry or inquisitive. I doubt any of them would actually be worried about where I am. I think it's getting a bit late. Yeah, I wouldn't want to keep you here for too long. It's been good to speak to you, Scott. I think Carrie should walk to you to the door. I'll say my goodbyes here. Thanks for the meal, Mr. Airwood. My pleasure. Fucking Carrie. Carrie, as startled as ever, trails after me as I walk out into the hallway of the Airwood residence towards their front door. Our eyes lock. Carrie still flared up with embarrassment, and myself filled with a newfound sense of direction. Carrie, would you like to go with me somewhere tomorrow? After school, that is.
You want to go somewhere?
Yes. I think it'll be fun.
Okay, sure.
Carrie still seems rather embarrassed. It was only only days ago that she herself invited me to town. Despite not calling it a date, I still find myself attaching a connotation to this upcoming trip. I don't plan on missing any opportunities on it. Anyway, I think I should get going. I'll see you at school tomorrow, Carrie. I try to make a swift exit, despite wanting to spend as much time with her as I can, standing here with my heart pounding and my chest is sending my mind into a frenzy.
See you tomorrow.
Yes. Stepping outside, I turn back to Carrie and give her a smile, one which thankfully she returns. knowing that there's a future for us somewhere. It makes me feel content. Carrie slowly shuts the door behind me as if trying to savor our time together. Things for us have been quick, sure, but tomorrow I plan on changing the course of things for the both of us. To be there for Carrie, even if she is no longer constrained by the burden of depression, I'm gonna look forward to it. But it's gonna be hard to wait. Oh boy. Oh god. Sounds of birds chirping wake me up earlier than I expect to. My new alarm clock is quite good. But I find that I want to wake up as early as possible. It gives me time to get myself ready for another day. With today in particular being of enough importance for me to want to experience it. Today, a day which would have been otherwise plain and generic, is the day I take Carrie out on a date, even though I never called it that. That's what it seems like. Her father even told me to take her out on one, so that's why I feel this way. More importantly, this is the day I'll tell Carrie my feelings, the ones which I've had for a while, all without realizing them. Now, though, whenever I think about her, my heart races, energized by my passion, my desire to be with her. It's a strange feeling, one which I've never had before, but I embrace it. After taking the time to freshen myself up, which involves the usual morning routine of a shower and teeth cleaning, I make my way downstairs to have breakfast. Break fast. So far, these are things I would normally do. They're unlike to lead a change, however. The only notable difference today is the keen smile I keep on my face as I continue to feel a rush of emotion. In the dining room, as you'd expect, my family are sat around the table. Well, my mother and father at least. So unsurprisingly, my sister is still either in bed or slowly waking up. Joining my parents at the table, I reflect on the situations Carrie had found herself in. She may not be able to experience having both parents with her, but now she can finally stop worrying about leaving one for the other, especially when she doesn't even like the other one. I still don't know whether her father has told her yet, though I should be able to tell when I see her, a sight I look forward to. What are you so happy about, son? Isn't he allowed to be happy? Why do you have to question him? I'm not questioning him, woman! I'm just asking him why he's so damn cheerful. But that is questioning me. Still, I feel as though I should answer him. I don't mind telling him why I'm happy, just as long as I don't have to be specific about it. I'm going out later. Instead of intensely badgering me for more information, my father refrains and provides me with a quick stare before giving me a small smile. All right, son. Strange. Is it because I told him I was going to Carrie's house yesterday? I don't know. That would give him a good reason not ask me whether I was going out with a girl, if he already just assumes I'll be. Neither of us continue speaking, given the opportunity for my sister to rather abruptly sit down beside me. Why, hello there, sister. As expected. It looks as if she's had a bad day already. Already? You're in your room! Her lethargy is all too apparent as it contrasts with my upbeat mood. She really doesn't do well in the mornings. What time is it? Looking at my watch, I realize it's about time I left. Even though my sister goes to the same school, I find myself leaving earlier than her most days. Of course, I've had even more of a reason to do so. It's almost 25 past. Shouldn't you be leaving? Yeah, I should be. Yeah! Getting up, I grab my bag and head towards the door. My sister, still in her typical monotonous voice, calls out to me one last time. Tell the girl you're meeting I said hi. How does she know about Carrie? Still, I don't have time to question her. She does go to the same school as me, so it's more than likely she's seen me hanging around with her. That's something I haven't thought about until now. Alright, see you later! Oh. Ignoring her request, I make my way out the door, despite being a bit late leaving. I should still get there on time. It's the emotional drive that's pushing me forward. My pounding heart, my anxiety, the light sweat on my brow as the morning sunlight meets my face. All these symptoms of my longing for Carrie, my love for her. I couldn't see her sooner. Oh God. The late September sunlight shines down upon me as I stroll down the street with passion put into each step. It's autumn, though to me it feels like summer. The frivolous attitude people can have towards life really kicks in at this time of year. At least for students like us, anyway. Since we follow a Western curriculum, the school year had only started a few weeks ago. Nobody is really taking it seriously. Not really. To think that I'd experience this after returning from the summer break, being able to walk with a slight pang of nervousness as I go meet the girl that I've grown to just love. All with my heart beating in a lively rhythm as I get closer and closer to the point in which we meet. And the point where we first met? Yes, yes, yes! The continued walk brings Carrie into my sight, causing my heart to speed up as I watch her diligently play with her clothes as if she's trying to make herself appear presentable. And she's got her hair down and her glasses off. One thing which is made apparent is the distinct change of her style. Her hair, rather than being done in the cute braided manner I've become used to seeing, now flows downwards towards the floor, each stand glowing and each in the morning sun. The notable pair of glasses she wears also seems to be missing. It's a striking contrast to how she normally looks, but it's not as if I haven't seen her look like this before. The talk we had in her bedroom is all too memorable. As I approach her, Carrie looks towards me with a smile. Rather than expressing surprise at my appearance, something about her seems different, disregarding the obvious change in an image.
Good morning.
Oh my god, is she gonna confess right now too?
How are you?
Oh god, it's coming! I'm good. You look real nice, Carrie. I struggle with getting the words through my mouth as Carrie stands right before me. It wasn't like this yesterday, but now that I know these feelings thoroughly, seeing her overwhelms me.
Thank you. I wanted to try something different.
Uh-huh. Ending her sentence with a beam of happiness, Carrie looks towards me with as she holds one arm with the other. It's almost as if she's nervous as well, both of us sharing the same feelings. Looking over her again, I feel as if this suits her as much as her braids did. Admittedly, she did look cuter before, but today she seems just a little more mesmerizing. Maybe it's because of the affection I carry for her, but I know seeing her like this is something I will enjoy. That's if she keeps the look. One thing is on my mind, though. How are you supposed to see without your glasses? Carrie blushes, looking down at the floor in embarrassment.
I'll wear them in school.
Okay.
It's just that I'm a little short-sighted is all.
Oh, she's not like me. If I take I have glasses, and if I take them off, I'm dead.
I can see you fine. That's all that matters.
Her final line sends a flood of emotions through my mind, causing me to feel flustered, an expression which connects the two of us. Carrie looks at me timidly, though I can feel something in her eyes. Is this the difference? Did he tell her?
Shall we get going then?
Oh, you know he did. Yeah, let's go. The two of us walk side by side, something which we would usually be doing. Now, however, I feel as if that bridge between us has gotten shorter and shorter. The days when Carrie was away, feeling sad, are now behind us. Her newfound happiness seems to give me enough of an indication that she now knows that she no longer needs to feel troubled, that she has a future here. Today I plan on crossing that bridge, the bridge to her heart. The heart bells. Oh, god damn it, gotta sit in class too, you shitty biology. The final minutes of class soon approach. My heartbeat aching and acting as a metronome as time continues forward, soon to face the lunch bell. I haven't been able to think about anything but Carrie all day, after seeing her cute wave she gave me after we split up to get to our respective classes. I've been dying to see her. Upon hearing the chimes that mark the start of lunch, I stand up quickly, enough to gain the attention of several classmates around me. I don't have time to be concerned about it. The more time I spend here, the less with Carrie. Let's go! Walking out of the door, I expect to see her cute face waiting for me, as she usually does. However, in the corridor stands only the usual crowds of students waiting for their friends. Carrie isn't one of them. Okay. Instinct tells me to check her classroom, taking me down the corridor towards her room. I could have sworn that some of the people back there were in her class, though.
There you are.
Hi!
I thought I had missed you.
Carrie approaches from behind, startling me slightly, as I had assumed she would have been in her classroom rather than tailing after me. Where were you?
Oh, sorry. I was in a call with my father.
Oh!
Shall we head to the cafeteria?
Weirdly, Carrie seems even happier than she was this morning. Ah, so he told her right there. It's strange. I would have assumed that Mr. Airwood would have told her earlier, given by how energetic she seemed compared to yesterday. However, now it's like I'm facing a Carrie filled with a newfound spirit. Just what did he tell her during that call? Carrie and I turned down the corridor to begin our time together at lunch. She still carries a beam of happiness across her face. It's a nice sight, though I'm used to seeing her smiling timidly with a blush. If he did tell her, I would have assumed she would have told me. Or maybe not. Carrie doesn't even know that I'm aware of the custody issue, so maybe that's why she hasn't said anything. Either way, I'm glad that Carrie is finally free of worry and can be happy again. The only issue now is to get closer to her. Close enough for her to hear my feelings. As we enter the cafeteria, it's hard for me to act calm. My mind continues to spin whenever I look in her direction. It shouldn't have taken this long to get to the cafeteria, but maybe my sense of time is flowing ever so slowly. It's hard to act calm around her now that my feelings are in control. And given that there are no issues stopping our hearts from binding, it's just a matter of time before I let them out. Going by her father's words, she must be feeling something too. She must be forcing herself to act with passion, as if to make an impression. It's not really needed, but it's cute for her to do so. If her father can be trusted, then us coming together is an inevitability. Oh God. Eventually school ends! Oh! If it wasn't for my outing with Carrie, I would usually be feeling pretty apathetic at this point. During lunch, neither of us really spoke to each other, despite Carrie's prior confidence. I think inside both of us know that getting our feelings out is going to be a difficult task. Hopefully this date can provide the groundwork for us to forge our relationship. The school bell rings, pumping up the speed of my heart. I now face something I've wanted for a while, something I've longed for. Hopefully I can get it done effectively. Hopefully I can bring us together. Oh. Outside stands Carrie, waiting for me as usual with a slight blush on her face. She knows as much as I do that we're about to embark on a journey that'll change us. It's whoever gives in first that'll truly set things off.
Shall we get going?
Oh, I feel like it's gonna be her first. She's been shy and this whole time, but I feel like at this moment she's just gonna fuck it, I have feelings! Yeah. I never told her where I wanted to take her. All I said was, would you like to go somewhere with me? Hindsight tells me that choosing something for us to do just to set an atmosphere would have been a good idea. However, I think that neither of us really care much. We just want to spend time together. Starting our slow pace through the corridor, I feel something grasp my hand. Did she just really?
Sorry! I got used to you taking me places like that.
Oh. Nervousness strangles my voice. I can't get anything out. Part of me wants to take hold of her hand. Part of me wants to tell her right now I love you. Though something is stopping me from doing it. Something stopping me from moving forward. We arrive in the center of town together, after spending a long period of the journey passively giving each other an occasional glance. An awkward but somehow enjoyable atmosphere, one that's always been between us. There's never been a moment where I haven't enjoyed spending time with her. It's just now there's a lot more attention on that very aura that crosses between us and our hearts. The late afternoon sun provides a canopy of tranquility, the two of us remaining silent as we look towards one another. I'd love to know what she's thinking right now. It can't be any different than what's been going through my mind. Carrie is the one to break the silence.
Well, we're here. What should we do?
Although I was the one to invite her out here on the advice her father gave, I still have no idea what the hell I should do with her. Anything that involves spending time with her, I'm bound to find pleasurable. Is there anything you wanted to do? I think I've just about managed to control the uneasiness in my voice. Oh, I didn't sound like that.
I just want to spend time with you.
Both of us have come to the same conclusion. We really don't care what it is as long as we do it together. Carrie blushes at her own statement, causing me to feel a sense of warmth inside. This feeling is usually described as having butterflies in the stomach. They must be going crazy. Each second we spend together caused me to adore her even more. A deep sense of affection flowering from the seed she had placed in my heart. Okay, shall we go for a walk? Carrie nods her head, looking at me with a sense of emotion. Her eyes are fixated on me, though I can't deny mine being fixed on her. We start to walk again, making our way further into town. Carrie's golden hair flows down her back, ruffled around periodically by slight breezes passing. It makes her all the more attractive. Oh God. Oh God, this is where it's gonna happen! It's a new background! You know it's gonna happen! Our unplanned stroll together takes us to the part of a town famed by students as the date spot. Numerous couples can be seen enjoying the view of the city, instances of people falling in love.
I want to tell you something.
Oh shit, she is gonna be the first! Carrie walks ahead of me, quickly turning back to face me with her reddened face. Instead of directing her eyes away, as she normally would, she locks them with mine.
I wanted to thank you for being there for me. Recently, I've been going through a lot.
Words flow from Carrie's mouth, a river of emotion with the source deep within her heart. I have a feeling as to what she's going to tell me, though I appreciate being able to hear each and every word. The experience I knew she had gone through, told from her own perspective, in her own very own words.
You knew things weren't going well with my parents. They were going through a divorce.
I nodded in response to her words. I didn't want to interrupt her.
My mother wanted to take me away. It hurt me. I thought I'd have to leave my father. I thought I'd have to leave you. I didn't want to do that. And now, I'm happy. I was told I was going to stay with my father. I'm happy because I finally get to tell you.
You could do it. Oh God.
I love you.
Oh! Carrie once again lifts her eyes, looking towards me with a sense of embarrassment on her face, her feelings released from her heart. Inside, it makes me happy. One of us was bound to let our feelings known to each other at some point today. Now that's finally happening, part of me feels content, overwhelmed with the emotion of love. Both my own and Carrie's.
It's been like that for a while. You gave me the opportunity to speak to someone, to feel this way. That's why I had to tell you.
Carrie stands still, almost frozen as she breathes heavily. I watch her tremble slightly as she continues looking in my direction, playing with the end of her hair as it rests down to her side. A small gust causes her skirt to flap around, quickly pushed down by her left hand. Now that she's reached out to me, I feel as if it's time to do the same, to tell her how I feel. I'm happy, Carrie, because, well, I love you too. Carrie looks up in surprise, her face still reddened, shines in the afternoon sun from where she had been sweating from nervousness. After spending time with you, I realized what it is I was looking for. I was able to find something in those moments. The moments I've enjoyed. That's why, Carrie, I want to thank you too. Both of us here together have managed to become different people. Before, Carrie was a timid girl. Her feelings, her thoughts, locked inside because of bad experiences. Being bullied, her parents going through a divorce. All of it was painful to her. To think that she managed to find something in me, it's a wonderful feeling. On the other hand, before I met her, I was just the new transfer. Nobody really showed much of an interest in me. Meeting her gave the chance to connect with someone, to change my outlook on life. That's why I'm glad I met her.
I'm so happy. believe it.
Don't worry. You're not dreaming. Carrie smiles at me. A smile more than one of simple gratitude. It's one filled with love.
I'm glad our feelings are mutual.
Me too. You know, I was gonna confess to you today, but you beat me to the punch. Over the past 2 weeks, we managed to form something together. It's a short amount of time when looking back, but I don't think I'll ever be able to forget the events which have brought us together. From meeting her by chance on the street to being able to fall in love. It's a cliche, but it's one that I cherish. Both of us are happy. Happy that we were able to make that connection. Now it's time for us to move forward. To forge a relationship. The events that troubled us are now in the past. What we have to do now is clear. We have to be there for each other. An easy task considering how much we enjoy spending time together. In the end, we're glad. Glad that we were able to hear one another. The sounds of our love. The girl that I love. Carrie. Oh!
Thank you.
Oh no, thank you. You made me cry. Oh, the tearing up, it happened. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, get out of the way, Mouse. I don't need you right now. I don't need your shit, Mouse. Oh my god. That was rather enjoyable. Yeah, great job to her voice actress too. And of course, the developer, DSon's like, oh, my heart. I'm glad that I made the right choices to have a good ending. I'm used to always having the worst endings. So it's always nice to when I actually get a good ending. I'm just like, oh, it feels so good and rewarding. But I wonder, I wonder what the other endings could be. Maybe it's she like moves away, and then it's like that's the bad end. But then maybe there's like a. I feel like since there was 3 endings, there's the good, the bad, and then the like, the like neutral-ish ending. I don't know. I think I'll do that on my own. Oh yeah, hold on. We're gonna get to the main menu, and I'm gonna show you guys something cool too. Hold on. We got always wait to the credits every time. Oh no, thank you for making the game. I'm just some nerd on the internet. But is it gonna go to the menu? Come on, Mouse, I need you. Okay. Here was some cool thing that I realized. You go to the CG, right? Oh shit. Oh god, this has to be like the bad one. But you see this, like normally you could be like, boom, click on it, boom, there it is, right? But you can actually, what the fuck? Oh, there's 2 of them? But there's this, right? And what's this, you're gonna ask? Well, you can actually like go like pan the image over here, right? Oh, don't do that. She's a lovely girl. We're not gonna do that. But like it's the dynamic CG mode where you can like zoom in and it looks and it's like and it's not like zoomed in as in like crappily zoomed in because it's a very high resolution CG. See? Like it's you normally when you zoom in it'd be all pixely. Nope, this is high resolution. But anyway, I just wanted to show that to you guys because I thought it was cool. Sounds of her love, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you guys had a little tear in your eye, because I know I did. And well, thank you to the developer, DSons, and the voice actress. Oh, I'll see you guys next time.